Okay, so a couple days ago, I finished Worm Arc 5, and I just want to go ahead and start talking about it. So that way, as soon as I'm done with this, I can go ahead and start listening to Arc 6. Although I'm probably going to do my car talk video, which I'm going to do in my room. But anyways, then I can start listening to Part 6. So, Taylor's personal life, which in my notes I just write as school, but it doesn't even start at school here, technically. But the personal life stuff. Number one, she goes shopping with her dad, dear old Danny, and they're at the mall, and they run into Emma and her dad. What I find super interesting about this is the dads are just bros. I think Alan is the name of Emma's dad. They're just like, dude, I haven't seen you in so long. Dude, I haven't seen you in so long either. We should hang out sometime. Dude, we totally should. Like, I mean, I'm thinking about having like a barbecue. Maybe we come over, we can grill some shit. They're just having a great time. Which is really interesting to me. Taylor never told Danny about her issues with Emma. So Danny has no idea of, at least at this point, does not know any of these problems. So of course he'd be like, oh, I haven't seen you two, what's up? Alan is the same way. So whatever deep-seated issues Emma has with Taylor, and again, maybe they aren't deep-seated issues, maybe she is just an alpha bitch piece of shit. Those are also not mutually exclusive. She might have some deep-seated envy, resentment that comes from a genuine place. It does not excuse the terrible things that Emma has done to Taylor. But it means Alan's not aware of it either. And Emma is keeping up appearances in public. Hi, Taylor, how are you? Smiling, seemingly polite. So it's like, okay, this is only a school thing. Again, it's not like her family knows about these issues. And there's a part of my brain that goes, so maybe it is just a school hierarchy thing. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel, again, that's like when she makes Taylor remember the death of her mom. That isn't just, yeah, I think I'm a little better than you now, so whatever. It's that to me is just so bitter and hateful. That has to come from somewhere. And there was a part of me at one point, I think in book 1, maybe book 2, I was kind of, or like super early on, was like, does she know that Taylor has powers? And she's jealous that Taylor has powers. And then I was like, no. The bullying started before the triggering event, so that has nothing to do with it. I have no idea where the fuck this is coming from. But Taylor, who is a lot more confident in herself now with all the shit that she's been able to do. She's like, I just survived Bakuda and cut off her fucking toes. I don't need to deal with this shit anymore. And also has a concussion, which a symptom of concussions is, doing shit you wouldn't normally do and whatnot. Just fucking hits her. I don't think they specifically said how. They didn't say if she got punched in the face or she got slapped in the face. I'm imagining that Taylor just clocks her right in the face. Not even like to the cheek, or just boom, right in the kisser. And that's pretty fucking amazing to me. So this happens. It causes a bit of a scene. Danny's like, dude, I'm so sorry. She has a concussion. She's not super okay right now. And Alan's like, I mean, that fucking sucks. What the fuck? But I mean, I hope she's okay. Shadow Stalker is there, who's the one that has that nemesis relationship with Gru and like wants to arrest Taylor for, like the city's under curfew because Bakuda's still doing her shit. She's like, hey, your fucking shitty daughter, she is a menace to society. Like, can you believe this? She's about to cause a riot. I'm like, okay. I understand what you're saying. Emotions are heightened. Fear is heightened. Panic is heightened. We don't want people causing a ruckus in this kind of scenario because it's just going to make things worse. A girl hit, again, it doesn't say if she was punched or slapped, another girl. And that's kind of it. Like, Taylor didn't pull out a knife. She didn't start screaming. She didn't, like, punch her, jump on top of her, and bang, bang, bang. It just comes across as like a, hey, you're causing a riot. Sorry, I think I scared my cat. I'm sorry, bub. You okay? I wasn't shouting at you. I was just being loud for the video. You okay? Sweet puppy. Anyways, it feels like I understand the reaction, but it's, to use a Monday football term, that's an overreaction. They're Shadow Stalker. After that, Danny and Taylor are going home, and Taylor's like, okay, if I'm ever going to tell my dad, this is the time. So she tells him about Emma. The next school-based chapter is in school, and it is Taylor, her dad, the staff, and her three main bullies, Emma, Sophia, and Madison, and their respective parents. Or at least like one parent per. And they have a meeting about the bullying and also the fact that it's like, okay, we do understand that there have been some incidents with Taylor. We're all aware of the incident. Mr. Gladley is even mentioned, which it sounds like he did not go to the school with it. So it does seem like he's like, Taylor, do you want me to help you? No, I don't think it's going to help. Sees her getting bullied and then willfully ignores it. So, fuck that dude. But it's like, okay, so people are aware that there are things going on and that there are some issues. Taylor also hasn't come forth with anything or, dropped any names until after she assaulted someone in public. Now, we as the readers fully understand the significance or the context of this. Yes, like she has reached her breaking point. It's a combination of reaching her breaking point, realizing she's not going to sit down and take it anymore because look at the shit she's doing. Why can't she deal with this? And also the concussion. It makes sense that she would finally act and finally retaliate. However, from a pure outsider perspective, it does come across as, you assaulted someone. Yeah, but I only did it because I was getting relentlessly bullied the entire time. Okay. If you were being relentlessly bullied the entire time, why haven't you said anything? Like, I do, as much as I hate to say it, sorry, you're really itchy. As much as I hate to say it, I don't think the school is entirely in the wrong here. A lot of that is because I work as an attorney. When you're an attorney, one thing you always have to be mindful of, regardless of what your client says, is like, yes, you want to believe your client, but you also know that you fully can't. People are going to embellish the truth at times. If someone believes they are a victim, they are going to try to make themselves out to be the victim as much as possible. Sometimes that is embellishing. Sometimes that is maybe hiding some facts or maybe misremembering things, and not even intentionally. That shit does happen. But it is always important to stress to a client. Sorry, I brain stopped for a second. It's like I had multiple things I was trying to say, and then they all came together and then disappeared into the ether. The thing you always try to stress to a client is, regardless of what actually happened, we can't get you the recovery you want, or maybe even the recovery you need, without evidence. If we can't prove it, it is your word against their word. And without anything substantial, a judge might just say, I don't believe either of you. Or, you know what? Like, you have a very compelling tale, you have a very sad tale, but you can't prove any of it, so there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. To me, looking at what happened at the school, I can see that happening. But I do think the school is a little more malicious than that. It does not, and again, maybe this is my own bias of I've been seeing what Taylor's been going through this entire story, and I'm very well familiar with her and her backstory and all these fucking incidents. It does come across as, okay, we as the school have to do something. We have to figure something out. What can Taylor, what can you actually prove? Do you have witnesses? Do you have pictures? Do you have, I don't know, like anything else? I have my notes of everything that has happened to me day after day after day. A very compelling tale, a very sad tale. This does not prove anything, because at the end of the day, your notes are nothing more and nothing less than your word and your version of events. They might be true, but just because you wrote something down does not mean it is true. Most of these events don't have witnesses, or if they do, well, the witnesses are the perpetrators. You can't prove it. To me, the one part of it though that makes me go, yeah, this is a bit more malicious and more of a farce is at least one teacher, Mr. Gladly, old Mr. G, admits, yes, I have seen some things in my class. He does not really defend Taylor though. It's not just like, yeah, I've seen it, it's getting bad. I've seen these girls do stuff. And she even brings up, like, did you not see me when I was like accosted in the hallway the other day? And I don't remember what he said. It was either he said, no, I didn't, or I didn't see any bullying, which granted, maybe he could not hear what they were saying. That is a possibility. But it seemed, again, at least from Taylor's perspective, which is how I saw the event, very clear that he could probably hear, or at least Taylor was looking right at him and being like, you gonna do anything here? Like, this is what I'm talking about, and he chose not to act. And at the time, I was like, he's choosing not to act. Maybe he is going to a higher authority, like the principal or the vice principal, and letting them know what he saw. Very clearly, he didn't. He chose not to act. What Taylor wants out of it, that is something they get to. It's like, look, clearly something is going on. How much of it can actually be proved? That's what's questionable. What are you looking for here, Taylor? I don't think a suspension will help. Because if they are suspended, they're going to come back, and I don't think their behavior is going to change. Also, if they're suspended, that means they just get to not go to school for a while. That's basically a reward. If they are suspended, I want it to be for a long time. What I would also like is for them to, instead of a suspension from class, a suspension from their activities, from their clubs, from their extracurriculars, because that's an actual fucking punishment. She's on the track team, and she's like, and I think even the teacher's like, she is the ace of the track team, and she's a fucking bully. Like, I don't care if she's the ace of the track team. I don't care if she's president of the United States. She's a piece of shit. And also saying, I want you to transfer me to Arcadia High, because I don't want to be at this school anymore. I don't want to deal with all of this shit, and I genuinely don't feel like I am being helped here by the staff. And everything that has been said to me here today is reinforcing that notion. I want out. What she is told is, we don't really have the pull to force a transfer. We'll see what we can do, but it's probably not going to happen. Given the lack of proof, we can't really just suspend them from all their activities, but we will. I don't remember how long the suspension was. It was either a few days, like a week or so. And Taylor's not happy about that, but that's how that goes. And at one point, she's like, hey, should I just bring out a knife? He was like, I think she says, like, what do I have to fucking do to get out of this place? Do I have to, like, bring a knife to school? Because maybe then you'll transfer me. Maybe then you'll expel me. And if I'm expelled, I won't have to fucking go to this place in my personal hell. And she notes that that was the first time Emma really reacted. I think it was Madison throughout it is very much like, seems very down, whether it is a genuine sense of, man, the shit we've been doing is like I always kind of thought it was a joke. And now that I'm actually hearing from someone how much it's affecting them, holy shit, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Or if it's a sense of, oh fuck, I got caught. And those aren't mutually exclusive. With Sophia, Taylor's like, yeah, she just was kind of mean mugging me the entire time. She was just angry. So you know what? It's like, fuck all three of them. When she said the knife thing, she noticed that's the first time Emma actually looked like shocked. Emma just had this smile on her face the entire time, that same smile she's been giving me these past few years. Because if we go to the media with any of this information, because we can and we threaten to, they have a signed statement from Shadowstalker about how I punched Emma, and they will sue me for assault. And as Alan even says, it's like, yeah, oftentimes in law, it's not about who's right or wrong or who has more evidence. Sometimes it is who has more money and can outlast the other. And that's not exactly untrue either. And there's actually a couple lines I really liked here. And not to say that I didn't like the rest of it, but Danny Singh is like, Alan, I thought we were friends. We were. But I have to protect my daughter the same as you have to do yours. And I really liked that. Because, yeah, you can look at this as like, yeah, Alan's being a massive asshole. He's just trying to point Taylor as like she's victimizing herself and blah, 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 blah. And from our perspective, yes, he looks like a massive douchebag. From his perspective, I have to protect my family. I have to look after my daughter. I think Taylor's a good kid. I've known her almost her whole life. I've known her dad. Her dad's a very good friend of mine. But my family comes first. And what I saw, like, I have not seen what my daughter has done. I have not heard what my daughter has done. All I know is Taylor punched my daughter in the face. And then afterwards, all of this came out. And sorry if it's my lawyer brain or my dad brain or maybe both, but this looks suspicious as fuck to me. I get that. Again, we've had Taylor's perspective. We know she's not bullshitting. But from the outside perspective, no, Alan kind of makes a lot of sense there. Like, I'm going to do what I can to protect my family and my daughter. Get it. So Taylor basically threatens everyone there. Emma has the, oh shit, like, Taylor might actually do something now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And they're like, Taylor, you can't just threaten everybody. Well, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Then she just leaves. And then she leaves, and her dad leaves. And then she calls Tattletale. I was like, all right, I need to hit something. What's the plan? So now we get to all the cape shit. Because the way the book starts, because I don't believe it started in the mall. The way it starts is some true fucking warrior cat shit. Because warriors, at every month, I believe it is during the full moon, that's the gathering where all the clans come together and all the leaders and all the deputies, and then they'll just kind of like pick and choose different warriors and apprentices to come. And I think some of the queens came to. Well, I mean, the queens were either warriors or they were nursing. If they're nursing, you're probably not going to go to the gathering, so that doesn't make sense. I don't remember if the elders would go. It sounds about right, but it also sounds like, no, like they're fucking old. They're probably not going to be able to make it. Anyways, point. It's a big gathering of all 4 clans. Here, it's a gathering of all the supervillain groups. You've got the Undersiders, Empire 88, Fault Lines crew. There's this group that's new in town. Oh gosh, I can't hear new in town. I'm thinking of John Mulaney. And I'm new in town. The Travelers. I'm now blanking on some of the other groups. Because I think there were a couple others. Because the ABB wasn't specifically there. There was, I don't remember what Skidmark's group was called. But they're like the really fucking, I mean, if you have a name like Skidmark, you're going to be the nasty ass crew. They're there, but they're not allowed a seat at the table. And I thought that was fucking funny. The 2 video game dudes weren't there. There might be another crew I'm completely fucking forgetting. Anyways, the supervillains have their warrior cats gathering, and there's the big table where all like the leaders are meeting, and then everyone else is sitting at their own tables. Like, all right, let's discuss shit. The ABB is now a fucking problem. With all the crazy shit that Bakura is doing, and with Lung escaping the way he did, the city is under panic. There is a massive curfew, and the capes are far more active than usual. And capes from other cities are coming in to help with this shit. And the more heroes there are in a city, the more difficult it is for villains to do our shit. So here's what we need to do. Thing number one is make a truce amongst ourselves. Do your business, protect your general territory, but no petty disputes, no territory disputes right now. Just let's agree to not fuck with each other until we're done with this. Thing number two, truce with the heroes. Don't do any crazy shit for a while. Do the shit that you have to do, the shit for your business. That is understandable. That is acceptable. After all, cops and robbers theory. But don't go beyond that. Because we want them gone and they want them gone. And then afterwards, we can be nemesises again. Sound good? Sounds good. Then, I don't remember what his name was. It was like Wolf Hunter, some shit. But it was a member of Empire 88 who was yelling at Rachel for like, hey, she fucked up my dogfighting ring. So Gru, who didn't actually know that Rachel did that, is like, okay, fuck, I've been blindsided. I am going to defend what my person did as best and as vaguely as possible until I learn what actually happened. Dogfighting, cool. That's completely in her thing. She, like, that's her shit. She's gonna go do it. She's gonna take care of it. If this is a problem, we will figure it out afterward. Okay? Okay. So the groups dispel, and then Brian turns on Rachel. Is like, I fucking hate you so much right now, Rachel. I don't care that you did it. That's your thing. I totally get it. What pisses me off, Rachel, is you didn't tell anybody. This is your major malfunction, numbnuts. You don't communicate. You don't tell us what you're thinking. You don't tell us what you're doing or what you're going to do. And like, I leave people in the dark. I don't want to be left in the dark. Okay? Okay. Look me in the eye, Rachel. Okay? Okay. I feel like I'm turning into my dad here, and I really hate that I'm turning into my dad, and okay. So that's how that goes. Then the shit happens with Taylor's school, and she's like, Tattletale, is something going on? Yeah, we're about to all fucking raid the ABB. I'm in. So what happens here is all the supervillain teams get shuffled around, with the idea being, since we're under a truce, let's all kind of work together, but make sure we're not full gang, so that way if no one really wants to try anything, if we're more mixed up, it's less likely that someone will try to pull some shit. Fair enough. So, Taylor is with Rachel. She is with, I don't know if I wrote everyone down, let's see if I can remember. She's with Kaiser. Kaiser is a really cool power. He can make metal, or it's like he can make metal, I think he can make blades come out of any metal surface. And it also made it sound like he has like a metal armor that he wears, and then he can make shit come out of that. That's fucking cool. There were the twins, I think it was Benja and Menja, something close to that. It sounds like they have the same power, as they can both grow and shrink. I don't know if it was one can shrink and one can grow. Shrink and grow, I did that backwards. But I think they both have the same power. There was Neuter, who is a guy from Fault Line's crew, who, I think it was like he has orange skin, and it was either he had blue skin or orange skin. I don't remember which. But he has like a weird fucked up biology, and part of his power is, I don't remember if it was just something he secretes or if it's specifically his liquids. So like his spit and his blood have this drug in them that can knock people out and make people hallucinate, which he says later in the interlude chapter, you cannot overdose on it. I would know. I have tried to make people overdose and die on it during a fight. Doesn't work, but it's a good thing to know. The other member of Fault Line's crew was Labyrinth. I don't remember exactly what her power did, I don't think it was quite that she could make illusions. I don't know if it's quite spatial compression, because that's Vista's thing, but as the twins have showed, people can have similar powers, but that might be more of a blood relation thing, so I'm not a hundo on that. There was a group led by Coil. I don't remember what Coil was or what she could do, but I think her guys were just like a couple of snipers. I think that was it. It was, no one knew if she had powers or not, but it didn't matter because like her people were just so well trained and efficient that she could match people with powers, and that's kind of fucking neat. So there's like a couple snipers from Coil's team that were there, and this woman named Sundancer, who was from the Travelers, who were just roaming around from out of town. They're the ones who are new in town. I fucking love her power. She has Sunny D. She has the power of the sun. She can make a fucking ball of sunlight. And not just, oh yeah, it's super bright. No, it can burn shit like a fucking sun and then use it around like Yamcha's spirit ball. That was neat as fuck. So that's the group that Taylor's in, and Kaiser and the twins are like, cool. We're a little too cool for y'all, so we're just kind of gonna do our own thing. We're not gonna betray anybody, but we're just gonna go do our own shit. They're like, what the fuck, dude? I don't care about you. Well, fuck. So, I think they just kind of, I don't even remember if they start fighting a couple Droogs. I think they just start fighting Oni Lee, because he's there. I really like his power. The way it's described is he can teleport, and when he teleports, he leaves a duplicate behind, and the duplicate can do things for a few seconds. It's essentially just like, yeah, he teleports and he leaves an after image. Because the way they make it sound is that it's teleportation and cloning, and if I just hear it as after image, it makes a little more sense. It feels less like I have two powers and more just like, no, like an after image, that sounds like an additional power from teleportation. And the after image can do shit. He can have multiple after images at once if he keeps teleporting around. That's fucking cool. So there's this whole fight with him. Also, I think, because they had some people invade the base. That's what happened. And Neuter gets fucked up. They realize Lung is around, which is bad. Then they're fighting Oni Lee. And Taylor is able to track where he's going when he teleports, like where he's going to reappear, because her bugs are all around, which means he's taking bugs with him. So again, like Manson effect, how does this work? So Oni Lee is an organic person, which means his power works on organic material, so he can take he can take all those bugs. But he can also take inorganic shit because he had weapons on him. So I kind of wonder what the limit to that is. Like, theoretically, could he touch a building and teleport the building, or is it only things on your person? I'm going to assume it's probably something like that, but then when the bugs are teleporting, because I don't think they were quite on his skin, I think it was more of an AoE. Could he teleport something smaller that wasn't on his person? Or yeah, could he like touch a building and intentionally take it with him, but also with the bugs, he's not intentionally taking them. So he just takes things around him. Not exactly sure like what the limits are. I think it's a really cool and fun power. But I'm actually just thinking, like, I'm kind of spitballing now. Yeah, so we can take organic and inorganic. So does that mean it cracked the Manson effect? Because they've mentioned that there are people who can. It's just very difficult to do so. Huh. But they fight him with Taylor being able to go, oh, he's over there, blah, 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 blah. Bitch is doing a lot of heavy lifting. They take care of him. Then they go fight Lung. I mean, there's some other shit that happens. I think they, like, rescue some hostages, and there's a bunch of people working in their underwear and working with the drugs, and Taylor just takes a bunch of bags of money and moves it outside with her roaches. Then you fight Lung. Lung is not happy to see Taylor, but he's very happy to see Taylor. And when they find him, he's already fighting Kaiser and the twins, who were kicking his ass, but it's Lung, so it doesn't matter. Like, he just keeps getting up and keeps getting stronger. At one point, he gets impaled through the heart by a blade of metal, and like, you fucking killed him. Yeah, I fucking killed him. He's a problem. what's wrong with you? Then Lung just gets up, despite getting impaled through the heart. I'm like, is he immortal? I don't know. I don't know if he can actually be killed, but fuck, that's cool. Kaiser, I think they were also saying during the fight, is using the blades of metal to... I don't know if he was specifically killing Lung's workers or his subordinates, or if he was like just hurting them or threatening them. With Taylor going, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, they're unarmed, we shouldn't be hurting them. And Kaiser going, I don't fucking care. This is what I'm going to do. Like, if I'm fucking with the ABB, I'm fucking with the ABB, not just Lung. Lung ends up fucking up Kaiser. He ends up fucking up one of the twins. I think they both get knocked out. Sundancer uses the power of the sun and starts melting shit. But she ends up getting taken out. So it ends up just being Taylor and Lung, who I can't understand a word Lung is saying, but I think it kind of works. Okay, his voice in the audiobook, it just sounded like the Cave of Wonders. Who disturbs my slumber? Bug bitch. I was like, oh, this is great. I love it. The way she beats Lung, because of course she beats Lung, she's kind of 2-0. I mean, the first time she didn't beat him. You know, the Undersiders had to get the assist, but she did a lot of work herself. The way she beats him is she had a cockroach go to where Neuter was, bathe in his blood, and then jam the fucking cockroach into Lung's eye, so Lung is directly exposed to Neuter's weird toxic biology, and he just collapses. So she gives Tattletale a call, like, hey, well, I mean, technically she called Alec first, and he's like, yo, we found Bakuta's gear, we found her lab. Dude, the bombs she's making are fucking insane. This is so cool. It's bad for us, but it's so cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Can you put Tattletale on the phone? Yeah, but we're doing something really important. I know, I understand. I need to talk to her now. All right. Hey, Taylor, what's good? Quick question. How exactly does Lung's regeneration work? Like, theoretically, because she doesn't ask this, but she does this. If I were to, I don't know, hypothetically speaking, gouge out his fucking eyes, could he grow them back? Yes. How long would it take? I don't know. It would take a while, like a few weeks, a few months. Cool. So he'll be blinded for a bit. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm like, how does the regeneration work? Like, if you cut off a limb, blah, 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 blah. So she just gouges out his fucking eyes while he's unconscious and poisoned, which was metal as fuck, super fucked up. And Sundancer go like, ah, you good, bitch? Like, that's fucked. Like, I get it. Lung's a problem. He's a real piece of shit. You just went up to a helpless man and gouged out his eyes. How fucking metal are you, and how deranged are you? So after that, Taylor, which I guess if she's in costume I should be calling her Skitter, because that is something they say in that villain meeting. The media from the wards has been officially calling her Skitter, so that is her name. So I don't know why the fuck this is called Worm. I don't know if she changes her name and later she's like, just call me Worm, and that's when she goes like, villain. Is like, I have embraced my role. Because I think it was even earlier in this book, she's like, man, it's gonna be really shitty when I betray the Undersiders, but I'm still gonna do it because I want to be a hero so bad. I'm like, come on. I mean, like, come on, we're still doing this. But maybe it's like when she's like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I have no delusions of heroism. I have no delusions of grandeur. I am Worm. Or if, I don't know, maybe it's like Attack on Titan, where the whole thing is like, it's not Attack on Titan, it's the Advancing Titan, which is supposed to be the final boss, I think. Maybe that's a thing where Worm is the name of actually like a major antagonist who shows up later, and the whole thing is building up to fighting Worm. Anyways, the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff Girls. The villains are all going home. They divide the money that Taylor's like, dude, I don't know how much is in each bag. If you want to take one, go for it. If there's less in that one than in the others, I mean no disrespect. I was just kind of moving them out there. Kaiser and one of the twins is still unconscious, and she talks to the other conscious twin, is like, hey, I did just substantially save the life of your boss and your sister. So if you could just, I don't know, casually tell them to drop the whole dogfighting thing and we could call this even, that would be pretty dope. Then she and Rachel hang out a little bit together. And what exactly happened? It was they were changing out of their costumes. Taylor's like, oh, fuck. I didn't bring a change of clothes, but I got some stuff underneath. Rachel gives her jacket. She's like, oh, like, thank you. I appreciate the jacket. And Rachel's really weird about it. And not in a tsundere weird, just like a, what do you mean by that? I go, I can take it back if you know. Yeah, I know. Do you want it back? No. Nah. And as Taylor kind of reflects on it, because she was talking to Neuter, who's a pretty cool dude, and Labyrinth, I think they talked about how, as far as they're aware, before her powers, she was a very normal person, and she has moments of lucidity where she's a normal person, but generally speaking, she is mentally gone. Like almost 90, if not more percent of the time. To which Taylor is thinking, okay, so a person's powers can completely fuck with their physical biology. It can also fuck with their mental, like, biology. I guess that's more psychology. I wonder if it's the same for Rachel. Like, her issues in communication. Part of that might be because she's had such a shitty life, and she actually has trouble communicating with people. Part of it might be a genuine inability to do so. So she talks to Lisa when the rest of the crew gets there. She's like, hey, Lisa, come here. I want to talk to you privately for a second. Is that a thing? Lisa's using her power. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Huh. I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure because I didn't really want to pry. Don't tell anyone we had this conversation because Rachel's going to take it the wrong way. Don't tell Alec because Alec will bring it up to Rachel. Not meaning anything, but it's Alec. I think that was how it ended. And then the interlude happened. So I just want to check. Was there anything else? No, that was basically it. And then we get the interlude, which is from the perspective of Gregor the Snail, who's part of Fault Line's crew, and just talking to a dude is like, okay, I am going to pay you like $400. I don't remember if it was a job or a week. And all you have to do is just buy me shit. This is nothing illegal. There's nothing to do with my job. But given my biology, it's hard for me to go or like pick up takeout. This is if I need groceries, food, if I need just general supplies. What happened to the last guy? He decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and he didn't like kill him or anything. No. He just said he wanted to spend more time with his girlfriend. I get it. But I didn't find that like a good enough excuse, so I said, all right, cool. I'll look for someone else now. You're now that someone else. Congratulations. I will say, just don't try to fuck with me or use it to your advantage like the last dude. Excuse me. Very early on in the relationship, he tried to blackmail me. He's like, hey, I can go to the cops and get more money. Maybe you should pay me more. And I was in a good mood, so I told him, don't. And he did it, and we were fine. Just don't press your luck, because I might not be in a good mood. All right, fair enough. Cool, I have a cool job now. Bye. So he just like gets a bunch of sandwiches and goes and delivers them to the rest of the crew. He hangs out with Neuter for a bit, and Neuter's like, bro, like, I'm so happy to see you. Tell these hot girls about all this cool shit that happened. One of the hot girls is kind of into Gregor, and then afterwards Gregor's like, I don't think she actually cares at all about me. I think she just sees someone with a disability and is into the power trip that dating someone with a disability has. And that's just not something I want to deal with. He goes to Labyrinth, kind of checking on her, making sure she's okay. because there's something to eat. Then he goes to Fault Line, and she's talking about how she's been trying to crack the Manton effect and the difficulty she's having with it. She's like, I feel so weak. You made a building collapse on someone. The fuck do you mean you're weak? I got a kick out of that. Let's see what else happened. There was also, they were talking about something called the Dealer. So I didn't super catch this, because a lot of time when I'm listening to Worm, I'm doing other shit at the same time. What it sounded like to me is there was someone going by the name The Dealer who was going around giving powers to people through like some kind of serum. And my understanding was, for people who are very compatible with it, they get powers. I don't know if these powers are inherently stronger than others, or if it's just congratulations, you got a power without a triggering event, or potentially it's either you got a power without a triggering event, now you're like a second generation or so where you need less of a triggering event, or essentially giving you the serum is your triggering event and now you can do shit. There are people who are compatible with it. There are people who aren't. And the people who aren't, they're the ones that get the really fucked up biology, like Gregor. I don't know if the implication is that anyone with a completely fucked up biology took the serum. It might just be that, no, like, Gregor got his powers, however Gregor got his powers. This is unrelated. But some people can get fucked up like this, which I think is a very interesting lore thing. I think we'll kind of see where it goes. That was part 5. I did enjoy part 5 quite a bit. Not as much as part... Okay, so partly not as much as part 3, because again, I love heists. I loved all that shit. But I don't remember the school shit as much from part 3. Or if I do, I'm not sure if it... Like, for example, her... the thing with Mr. Gladly, I don't remember if that was part 3. I think it was. But I really liked the school and personal shit here in part 5. Overall, I think part 5 is very good. Other just info that I know, because I was talking to my friend about it who has finished Worm. And it's not like I was specifically asking him for spoilers, but getting excited, he talked about a couple things. So he talked about Lung, and he's like, okay, so Lung's power is weird. The way it works is he is as strong as he needs to be, but it takes time. So, like, whatever is essentially, it sounds like his body will adapt to the situation, but it can't do it immediately. He's like, there's a part in the story where they're fighting something really strong, and Lung just has to sit there and wait for his body to get stronger. People go, are you going to jump in and help? Yeah, I will. Just give me a fucking second. It's like, that actually sounds really funny. I'm kind of looking forward to that. He said there are people that will join the Undersiders later, which I figured. I don't know if they're replacements or just new additions. That is not something I asked. He did say, he's like, yeah, there are people you've met who are going to stick around till the end of the series. There's definitely people you've met that don't. I'm like, I kind of figured, but I don't want any names or any hints. He mentioned that there's someone who joins the Undersiders. It was either their name is Imp or their powers. They do something with imps. I didn't get much more than that. I didn't ask much more than that, but it sounds like that might be fun. So, like, whenever I think of Imp, I don't think of Impmon right away anymore. I think of Impidimp from Pokemon, for specifically Sword and Shield. And every time I look at Impidimp, not even the evolutions, although Grimmsnarl is more into this, I think of the Green Goblin. So every time I see Impidimp, my brain goes, Spider-Man! Fuck you, Spider-Man! And I can't not think of that now every time I see that fucking Pokemon. So possibly, depending on how the Imp character is written, I might just read Imp and my brain just goes, fuck you, Spider-Man. And then I continue on with whatever's going on. The other thing he had said is he talked very briefly about Ward. Because it sounds like, I don't remember if he said it's a full-on sequel or if it happens part way during Worm, because it sounds like Parahumans is a big series. And some of them are sequels, some of them might be happening at the same time. Some of them might be happening just in other parts of the world. I'm not as sure. I didn't super look into it. He's like, yeah, like Word is the sequel. You'll never guess who the protagonist of it is. And I immediately said, I was like, okay, based on the title, I have two theories. Number one, or it's like, based on what you said, I have two theories. Like, as soon as you said the title, my brain went Glory Girl. I know she's not a member of the wards, but she's heavily associated with the wards. She's of the wards' age, and maybe she ends up transferring. If you said it's someone I won't expect, then I'm gonna guess Emma, and her triggering event was Taylor punching her in the face. And I really hope Taylor punching her in the face is a triggering event. Because that sounds kind of wild. And then he told me, he's like, yeah, it actually is Glory Girl. I was like, cool, I got it right. So I know she gets a sequel or a spinoff. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know much else about her power, or like, I know a bit about her power. Like, I don't know much about her story or what happens to her. I think he said she ends up going through a significant change later, and like an identity change. It's like, well, they talked about Panacea having a big secret that can shake shit up. I'm like, we'll see where that goes when it happens. But that was Worm 5. I enjoyed it. It is done. I think that's my first video of 2024. So I can't add it to that 2023 shit I read tier list. So I'm gonna have to make a new tier list. And I also, playlist, fuck. I will have to add several 2024 tier playlists as I make more videos. I'm just gonna need to make a playlist for Worm, because I now have 5 videos in there. And that's it for this, so I'll see you later. Have a good day.